men are Nigerians, trained and retrained at piping engineering. Today, they are training other Nigerians and people from the communities around them. And together, they are doing amazing jobs in marine, engineering, and construction. They remain the shining stars of Nigerian content. Hello, it's another edition of Nigerian Content Weekly. Thanks for joining us. My name is Richmond Osuji. Of course, you know I'm not your host for this program. Dayo Benjamin Slani, our amazing presenter, is unavoidably absent this time. So, I have to stand in for her. Again, thank you for being a part of this program.
Come and see the better NCDMB they do. When they make people of Nigeria, they jolly. Them go make work for good through our oil and gas. Business go day, life go sweet. NCDMB they do us better.
Here comes the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB. NCDMB, our mission is simple but critical to the development and industrialization of our country, Nigeria, through the building of a new Nigerian oil and gas industry. Among other things, we are here to guarantee increase of indigenous participation in the Nigerian oil and gas industry, build local capacity and competencies, create linkages to other sectors of the national economy, and boost industry contributions to the growth of our national gross domestic product. Nigeria Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB. At last, the work has begun to build a new Nigeria oil and gas industry with increase in indigenous participation. We thank our President, His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, for establishing this all-important agency for the good of the Nigerian people.
NCDMB, they do us better.
Hello and welcome to the news. I am Kachi Notri. How to grow local content in Nigeria's $12 billion software sector. Engineer Ernest Nwapa. Court cases impeding the tempo of success of the Nigerian content law. The NNPC backs local capacity development in oil sector. IOCs defy Nigeria's expatriate quota law, says Nwapa. Local content development in the software subsector of Nigeria's information and communications technology ICT sector can be driven to a greater height if the industry can take a cue from the successes recorded in the oil and gas industry. This was part of the submission by the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, the NCDMB, recently in Lagos at the 2015 President's Dinner of the Institute of Software Practitioners of Nigeria. Already, experts have reiterated that poor policies and lack of action plans have continued to weaken the growth of the subsector, which they estimated to worth about $12 billion. Indeed, while calling for a strategic partnership with the ICT sector, the Executive Secretary of the NCDMB, Dr. Ernest Nwapa, who delivered the keynote address on the theme Software and Local Content in the Nigerian Oil and Gas Ecosystem, said the political will is most crucial to drive local content growth. Nwapa said when the political will is there, software development can be explored in all the sectors of the economy, including the oil and gas industry. According to him, local content is about things done in Nigeria, and his agency is today focusing on in-country value addition, which includes promotion of capacity and use of local resources, among others. In doing these, we have been able to create robust local supply chain, he said. Some of the international oil companies, IOCs, operating in Nigeria's oil and gas industry still violate Nigeria's law on expatriate quota, the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board has said. Now, the NCDMB, which disclosed this on its website, added that it was part of the setbacks for the Nigerian Content Act. The Act stipulates that expatriates must not be employed for works which Nigerians have available expertise. Preaching a drastic reduction in the expatriate quota, the Act also stipulates that in a situation where there is work that only an expatriate worker has the expertise to execute, proper application and notification should be made to government through the NCDMB, which will thereafter give the approval on behalf of the government, the statement said. The Executive Secretary of the NCDMB, Dr. Ernest Nwapa, said in the statement that some of the companies still violate this provision. Although he did not mention names of the defaulters, he promised his commission's commitment to apply appropriate sanctions on them. Those who default will be duly addressed, he said. The target we set in 2011 has recorded improvements. The local content is now contributing to the GDP since we began in 2011, and we have, based on this, concluded plans to establish more conducive environment for easy implementations. It has been revealed that the pace of success recorded by the NCDMB has been punctuated by court cases. According to Nigerian Content Weekly sources, government's aspiration to get a boost for $5 billion local content investment in Nigeria has been subjected to threats by court cases, such as the ongoing court cases on Chevron's oil blocks and the one between Lagos Deep Offshore Logistics Ladol and Samsung Total. While Chevron's case is delaying investment of about $1 billion, Total and Samsung and Ladol are locking horns over a $3.8 billion Engina oil platform project. These court cases no doubt have effects on local content investments, a source revealed. We only hope that the courts adjudicate on these matters and dispense justice as quickly as possible so that the investments that are on hold as a result of the cases can be actualized, said our source. Still on legal battles, the lingering disagreement between Lagos Deep Offshore Logistics Ladol and Samsung Total over a $3.8 billion Egina oil platform project has taken a fresh twist as the plaintiff Ladol has accused Samsung Heavy Industries, SHI, of breaching an earlier ruling by Justice Chukwujeku Aneke of the Federal High Court Ikoyi, Lagos, that parties maintain status quo pending the determination of the suit. Also, the feud over $1 billion oil block sale by Chevron has continued to degenerate as the Federal High Court sitting in Ikoyi, Lagos, penultimate week, heard a motion seeking to join the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, and the Minister of Petroleum Resources in the case. Nigerian company Britannia U Nigeria Limited had instituted the case last December over the divestment of Chevron interest in oil mining leases, the OMLs 52, 53, and 55. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, has reiterated its commitment to continue to promote in-country capacity by leveraging on indigenous companies with requisite technology to add value to the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. The Group Executive Director, Engineering and Technology of the NNPC, Engineer Adebayo Ibirogba, stated this while inspecting the fabrication yard of an indigenous company along with some NNPC senior staff from different subsidiaries in Lagos. Engineer Ibirogba noted that Castech Engineering Limited is one of the indigenous clients of the corporation, stating that the fabrication yard of the company is a model of excellence. The GED stated that the Nigerian Content Act of the federal government provides a veritable platform for indigenous companies to operate on a level playing field with the international oil companies in Nigeria. According to him, the NNPC has been at the forefront of those supporting and encouraging the attainment of the local content target for the industry as it has done in other sectors. Engineer Birogba said investing in local content would give some advantages to local fabricators, adding that the federal government would ensure total encouragement of potential investors who want to invest locally. He added the Petroleum Industry Bill, the PIB, before the National Assembly, when passed into law, would further promote the growth of indigenous participation in the petroleum sector. And that brings us to the end of the news. I am Kachi Notri. Thanks for watching.
Yes, we continue once again with our tour of indigenous oil services companies. And at every stop, we have stood face to face with the awesome impact of the Nigerian Content Law. We keep marching into the bowers of fabrication yards, seeing structures unknown to our local logistics companies before the enactment of the Nigerian Content Law. You could tell that, for once, a Nigerian agency is implementing a Nigerian law to the letter. Our last stop was the Piting Engineering Company Limited, a company set up 31 years ago with an ambitious vision to be the best engineering services provider. And they seem to be living up to this tall ambition. Indeed, when a new management was introduced in 1998, Piting, a wholly indigenous organization, announced its major arrival on the oilfield services arena with emphasis on marine, civil engineering, and constructions. These Warri-based outfit would enter into contracts with massive international oil companies like Shell Petroleum Development Company, Westminster Dredging Boskelis Group, Netherlands. And from 2002, Piting made giant strides as it commenced building its fleet of barges and houseboats in her yard at Warri. In doing these high-profile jobs, Piting used a combination of Nigerian manpower and expatriates. But the big deal is that today, Piting is doing these same jobs with 99%, if not 100% Nigerian workforce. This is the vision of Nigerian content law, and I can tell you that the dream is alive and kicking in the heart of Piting Engineering Limited. I'll be back.
This one na the better. NCDMB they do when they make us jolly. Oh, na NCDMB. This one na the better. NCDMB they do when they make us jolly. Oh, na NCDMB.
Oh yes, so NCDMB, Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, we don't show. We don't stand gidigba for our country, oil and gas industry to make sure say our people of Nigeria must begin to benefit big from the oil and gas where Papa God bless us with. Okay now, our work for NCDMB now to make it possible for many Nigeria businessmen and women to join the do business for our oil and gas industry. Also, we don't make sure say our Nigerian people sabi the thing wey go fit make them many pass for all the workers where they operate for Nigeria oil and gas industry. People of Nigeria, now this one be the work where NCDMB, Nigeria Content Development and Monitoring Board, they do so better life go boku for our people with this gift where God give us. We thank our Papa, the President of Nigeria, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, where bring this NCDMB to do this work so that better life go bracket for our people. Nigeria Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, we stand gidigba to make sure say our oil and gas now for our better oh.
Na NCDMB.
Welcome back. Well, make no mistake about it. Every once in a while, Piting still invites 1 or 2 expatriates for some special assignments. But within 1 or 2 years, Nigerians understudying these expatriates take over because for Piting, the local content blood flows in their veins. Justice Mokwenye is the Admin and Human Resources Manager at Piting. He spoke on the character of the organization and his perception of local content.
As at 2010, yes, as at 2010, we should be running, say, around both direct and indirect, about 400 to 500 staff. I guess we've increased to about 600. I must say that the content law is very timely, and it's really helping. And I know that in the next 5 years, Nigerians would have started doing a lot of things on their own. Our dependence on foreigners, our dependence on bringing in things from abroad would have really reduced to almost zero. So it's very timely, and we want to also commend the federal government for that initiative. We have, let me say, we have about 1%. 1% is what we have. Perhaps because there are some responsibilities that may not be easily handled by Nigerians. So once in a while we engage them, but we don't just engage them like that. We do ensure that we give them some people that will understand them, so that they will not just remain forever. At least by the time they have worked for like 1 or 2 years, we should have someone, a national, that should be able to replace it. Should be able to take up the responsibility that it was originally hired to do.
With the advent of the Nigerian local content law, Python also developed its local content development policy, sourcing materials and expertise locally to empower homegrown skills and commerce, patronizing local suppliers, manufacturers, and dealers in construction wares. Chiadi Gobie is the base manager of Python. He speaks on this crucial subject of local manpower and empowerment, a core concern of the Nigerian content law.
Yes, of course. It has helped us or give us more incentive even to train our people, our workforce. We do training in all areas. We are a marine company, we are a civil company also as well. In all these areas, in marine, civil, we have been training our workmen, our crew for ships, for tugboats, our foreman, our supervisor in the shipyard. If it's in skills or HSC training or even management training on level of maybe unskilled, skilled to management level, let's say. Of course, with the coming of the Act, maybe it just put it more bold that some companies, they have to do like this, they have to follow this Act. But for us, I can say that since the day I was here myself in Nigeria, since the day I started, I didn't come and start in this office. I started in the shipyard as a site engineer. From that shipyard, I was having always somebody next to me being trained. From site engineer, I was project engineer. Somebody took over from me. From project engineer to project manager, somebody also took over that position. And today I'm a base manager here. So I can say that it's really flowing in the sense that the Act is being implemented. For me, I can say Nigeria has a very good future, but we still need to enforce that Act in a way that all companies, especially international companies, are following this step by step. Because, as I said, you cannot bring somebody and put him in one position like this if you don't train him, if you don't help him to achieve something, to reach from point A to point B. You have to help him to develop his skills. And by doing that, I'm sure this country will be one of the best countries if not in Africa, in the world also.
Python has been involved in major projects, and these include construction of barges and houseboats with different capacitors, statutory and dry docking of tugboats with different capacitors, plus the huge projects with Shell Petroleum Development Company, Focado's Yokri Integrated Project, including the construction of guardhouse, helipad, and helicopter waiting room.
We are a civil specialized company. We have shipyard. And we do shipyard services from dry docking, maintenance of vessels. We also build vessels, we build barges, we build houseboats. Presently, for example, we are doing a job for Shell in Yokri. It's called Focado's Yokri Integrated Project, FYIP. This job has been on since 2003, 2004. In several stages. We are now in phase 2. I can proudly say that the first phase was completed successfully.
We finally went on a tour of Python's facilities and a chat with some of the locals enjoying the very essence of Nigerian content law, building indigenous capacity through training. They are seeing the benefits of local content and they are celebrating it.
This place is phase 2 and we are mainly in the marine days of this place. This is our fabrication yard. We have our welders yard, we have our filters, we have our machinists, we have our sprayers, We have our trainees, some of them are also here. This is purely marine. We have some trainees from the community here to train them because we have senior engineers who have learned about the job and they train some of them, yes.
Supervisory fabrication, we do fabricate badges, building and houseboats, water cabin, just name them. When the management employ me, firstly, I learned it locally before. When they employ me, they send me for more course at PTR to know more about the job. Since I returned, I've been handling the job for about 10 years. Doing the fabrication here, doing our powder cabin, houseboat, everything that is done here is local content. And we have provided the best. We have a lot of training on community, teach them what to do. Some will train them in wedding, some will train them in fitting, some will train them in machinist, some will train them in mechanic. So we balance the system so that we will not run out of manpower. And I believe if it is continuing like this, many unemployed graduates that we are experiencing today in the country will benefit a lot from this local content production we are having here.
When I come, in fact, I learn a lot of things here because there's something that I never come across, like building a brick and badge, other things, top boats. From here, I got the knowledge. We don't have some training. Compared going on that training for the period of 3-4 years.
Come and see the better NCDMB they do. When they make people of Nigeria, they jolly. Them go make work boku through our oil and gas. Business go day, life go sweet. NCDMB they do us better.
Here comes the Nigerian Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB. NCDMB, our mission is simple but critical to the development and industrialization of our country, Nigeria, through the building of a new Nigerian oil and gas industry. Among other things, we are here to guarantee increase of indigenous participation in the Nigerian oil and gas industry, build local capacity and competencies, create linkages to other sectors of the national economy, and boost industry contributions to the growth of our national gross domestic product. Nigeria Content Development and Monitoring Board, NCDMB, at last the work has begun to build a new Nigeria oil and gas industry with increase in indigenous participation. We thank our President, His Excellency Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, for establishing this all-important agency for the good of the Nigerian people.
NCDMB, they do us better.
There is no question that Python Engineering Limited is working towards its dream destination with assured steps, totally local content compliant, and showing that President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's vision and decision to sign the local content law is a massive step in the right direction. It is generating employment, building Nigerians' capacity and capability. What more can we ask for? Till I come your way next week, I am Richmond Osuji saying goodbye for now.